You are at Lake Rant, where I rant whatever my $15 a month plus patrons want me to rant about. You can get one of these by being one of those. This one's for Kato, who says, my general rant request is fan comics, things like Brunswick, MLP shit, etc. More specifically, though, my Pokemon comic, Always Tomorrow. It's only 7 pages, so I hope it doesn't count as too much research or whatever. Not at all. So I read this comic on Webtoon. It's a post-apocalyptic Pokemon manga where this woman, basically after leaving some flowers at I guess her mom's grave, she happens to see she wanders into Professor Oak's lab, which is all fucked up and looted, and happens to press a button that plays like his last memoir, and so he basically leaves her with an Espeon, and this Espeon fights off all these ghost Pokemon in the first chapter. By far the coolest thing about this chapter is the presentation of the ghost Pokemon as these like wispy, almost ink blot creatures that Espeon fucking powers away with a psychic blast. But yeah, check out if you're interested. Always Tomorrow, a Pokemon story on Webtoon or Tapastic. I thought it was pretty okay. I thought it was cheesy that the she just kind of presses a button and Professor Oak's final monologue comes on, like nobody did that in all the raiding that happened of this place. But the ghost Pokemon fight looked cool. And I, of course, am a huge fan of Brunswick, which was Ben Saint's Pokemon comic based on his own Nuzlocke that he had done years prior, but dramatized in a really interesting and creative way. And I mean, I've read like hundreds of fan comics. I don't really know how to talk about them in like a holistic way. They are just comics that happen to be based around an existing franchise and characters. I think they're cool if they're good, just like anything else. It's no different from fan fictions essentially, except that there's probably fewer shitty ones. Maybe. I mean, 90% of any category is probably shit, but at the very least, there's a higher bar for entry to drawing a comic than there is to writing a fanfic. But or you might be more likely to look at your own work, realize it sucks, and throw it away. But there's plenty of great fan comics out there. Again, Brunswick is a good one. You say MLP shit, and I'm like trying to think of any specific. Because MLP, there was fewer like comics and more like ask blogs or just artists and stuff. It wasn't so often that you got full blown comics. I know Tom Oliver had made one, or a couple really, but yeah, like when it comes to fan comics, I mean, I've read hundreds of dojins, for instance, which are obviously what kind of dojins I'm talking about. But like yeah, fan content is great. I'm a huge fan. Anytime it's done well, it's worth double thumbs up. I don't really know what else to say about the general concept of fan comics.